Good morning, and I'd like to welcome James Ashlin this morning to the No Limits Group, and we're going to have a conversation about why video marketing's really important in your business. And to introduce James, James is a videographer with Action Coach, and helps a lot of the coaches out and the coaches' clients out with their video marketing. Have I got that well enough for you, James?
I've headed up the Action Coach video department for the past nearly 9 years, and I was kind of brought in to help with the coaches and conversions with prospective new clients. So I go around the country, basically film at least 8 new testimonials from our Action Coach clients all around the country, and building a database for all of our coaches to use, and it's over 300 now. So always growing, always supporting the network.
One of the things that amused me most about Action Coach videography was when I first became an Action Coach a little over 3 years ago, and I was starting to put my own marketing together. I thought, right, I better watch some of these videos. And I got the video channel up and I started wading through one after the other. And I'd also been thinking about who are the people I know that I can market to, you know, our circle of influence and this, that, and the other. And so I got a list. I got the opticians, I got the vets, what have you. And I'm sitting there one day watching this, and then my vet comes up as a video, a new video, my vet's in Yorkshire. And I thought, oh, that's a bit bizarre. Anyway, no wonder they're so good. Anyway, there we go. Just a fun little story from my past. So James, let's start with a really big question. Why use video in our marketing?
Well, why wouldn't you nowadays? Like, it's just the future. It's been ever growing. In the past, when I was brought in, I think my directors could see it was the future. And now everything you look at on, whether it be LinkedIn, any social media platform, the 90% of it will be video, won't it? And I try to focus it on real stories. So I make it a real story about the client. And then if I'm doing a video about, say, yourself, would focus on your why, what you're about, and work from there.
Okay. And what do you think encouraged Action Coach to go into using so much video?
Like I said, they could see it was the future. And I think there was really the big gap for our Action Coach clients is the period where they've maybe got a perspective on the line and they kind of want to convert it. So when you've got these Action Coach client testimonials, you've got that real story backing behind you. So you can show them the evidence, that real story of what you're all about, what you can offer your clients, and yeah, that's what we focus on.
Yeah. So bringing out the success of your business for your prospective clients.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So that's kind of aiding at the point of conversion. And what are we able to do in terms of, you know, generating more leads with video?
So generating more leads, I think you just need to make more of a presence about yourself. So focus on about what you're all about, what your niche is. You do need to make yourself different to everybody in the industry. But yes, and then obviously it needs to be constant. So you can't just make a video 1 week and then leave it for 5 years. I think you need to regularly, every month, make more and more content. So you've got a steady flow. And people can, even if they're not watching it every week, but they'll notice you, and it'll be in the back of their minds, and maybe over time that can become a lead.
Yeah. And so thinking about that, can you set video up in a way that, you know, you might spend half a day with a videographer putting a whole load of content together, but then trying to drip feed that out over a period of time in your marketing? Would that be a sensible way to go about it?
Oh, 100%. So with you today, for example, we'll spend half a day with your clients, and that'll be maybe focused on conversion, like we said. And it also gives you a presence of what you're all about. But then we spend in the rest of the half a day and we'll make videos what's focused on you. So for today, for example, we're focusing on Marcus Sheridan kind of style videos where they ask you to answer. We'll do up to 40 topics where you're literally just explaining exactly what you do, any question that the prospect might typically ask you, and you're just answering it. No like bullshit. just straight to the point, what you would say to a client on a normal day. And with 40 videos, that's a video a week, 40 weeks. So it's a decent amount of content you can make in one day.
Yeah. And I thought I was in for an easy day. I thought my life was going to be easy today.
I'll make it as easy as possible, don't worry.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So when we're making that content, how do we give it its biggest, how do we create the biggest impact when we're trying to put what are the key points for us in making an impact?
Well, your best bet, if you're not like a marketing whiz, would probably be to use like a outsourced marketing company, just so they can get the most out of the video. If you're not somebody who's very good at using social media, things like that. But if you're not, I would just literally, you'd get it on your website, have it there as like on your landing pages. That's just the basic, and then obviously a post a week on LinkedIn would be great. That's just the basics of it. Just one a week, and then you've got a steady amount of content out there, so people have got you in their minds weekly. That's what I'd suggest if you don't know what you're doing. But otherwise, I would use like an outside marketing company just to know what they're doing.
Push you along. So create a raft of video content, one post a week, keep pushing yourself out there, repeat.
Yes, just got to be constant, and like even if the first couple of weeks you might not get much traction, you just got to keep on with it. And obviously you've got to eventually over time you'll learn different tricks of who to like tag or what to say to get more of your audience engaged. And that's what you want, the audience engagement, and then that'll lead to other people joining in.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're saying there is, if we're going to create content, what we want to be doing is we just want to be getting consistency in our posting. We create the content, we're putting it out on a consistent pattern once a week. We're trying to create relevant tags in to get people to follow it. And all we're doing then is we're starting to build people's awareness of us being there and always being there.
Yeah.
And that's building the comfort and knowledge that there's something consistent about this business.
Exactly. And even if, say, like the videos we're doing today, they ask you answer, people might not be watching the full thing, but they might pick up on half of it each week, and they'll learn more about you and your identity and what you're all about. And I think that's just a good, authentic way of people learning about your business. So
yeah. And how about storytelling in video content? How do you feel about?
So storytelling is what I would focus on every week. So for example, your client testimonials today, there's nothing staged about it. I'm not telling them what to say, what to not say. It's the conversation. It's real. It's a real story. And that focuses on the journey they've been with you as their client so far. So that's what I try to do with all my videos, whether that's promotional content for a client. It's just making it about a story, making it as real as possible. Then it comes across authentic. You don't sound like a robot. You just sound like the real you. And I think people would naturally want to buy from somebody who's real rather than just who's coming across scripted, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I hate a script. Sticking to a script is a fundamentally difficult thing.
Yeah, it's a bit harder. It's harder to stick to a script than just go with the flow, I think.
Yeah. It's I always think the scripting, I think it's the one bit of credibility I can give to politicians is their ability to actually talk off a script, and the amount of preparation that goes into that is phenomenal. It's a real skill. I don't want to do it.
No.
And I hate a lot of everything else around politics, but the individual skills of being on script and being natural are phenomenal. But
so if you're very good at it, it can be good. But even if you're slightly off, people can pick that up straight away, and it just looks a bit.
And that's the problem. We're not professionals at it.
Exactly.
So we're better just talking from the heart and being ourselves. And
that's it. Talk from the heart, make it real. And I think people will relate to that better.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So if we're creating this content, where are we going to have our most impact? How are we going to drive that? You mentioned LinkedIn.
So obviously LinkedIn is good for the network you already have. And then maybe if you're connecting with new prospects week in, week out, that they will naturally pick up on that as well. it's good to have it on your website just so people can have like find out what you're all about straight away. They can land on your page, they can find you about, but obviously they're not going to find that as easy. So social media is probably the platform to use for posting your videos. And then yeah, again, just things like good thing about video, if you base it well around blogs, it's really good for your SEO. So if you do a new blog post with a video every week, it boosts your SEO on your landing pages on your website, so people will find you easier. So yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. But like I said, the best way to do it is maybe if you really focus on it, use like an outsourced PR agency or marketing company, and they'll help you in on how to do it.
Okay, so let's just explore that a little bit. So what you're suggesting there is we use the content, we tie that into some blogs with the video link, I assume, in the blog on our website. We drive traffic through our social media channels into that blog, and all of that is going to improve our SEO and improve people finding our website.
Yeah, 100%. But I would say that the best phase of using the videos would be for testimonials, for example, and the real stories would be once you've already had that engagement with somebody who's maybe a prospective in that kind of middle point where you want to get to that next stage, want to convert it, that's when you can show that real story and show what you're really about, show them what your why is.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most powerful, like, pinpoint when to use the videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Cool. All right. So why would you, so you work with us as an action coach. Why would you suggest to our clients that they think about investing in video content? What's the, what's the driver for them, would you say?
So it's similar to what I was saying. Is so like you are today with some of your brilliant clients, if some people on the call today, you want to share the stories you've gone through with your clients, it's just the best way of showing exactly what you guys do from the word of your mouth of your customer rather than it coming from you. It's like when you read a testimony, it's like you don't know whether somebody's just typed that themselves or they've edited it slightly, but when it's coming from the word of the mouth of your customer, I think that's a million times more believable than just a bit of script. So
yeah, and the thing that's striking me about that as we're talking is that often a lot of the problem with starting out on something new, starting out creating video content, unless you've done it before yourself in a different way, it's quite intimidating thinking about how am I going to start, where am I going to start. So that is kind of leading me to think about if you're nervous about it, then why not engage a professional for a day who takes that strain off you, who explore with a professional like yourself, who understands what the content needs to look like and feel like and be in itself to get you best value. And then that takes a load of pressure off you as a business owner, because I think unless you and I were doing this today, I wouldn't be doing it.
no.
I think unless this facility existed and the they ask you answer principle that you've built with other coaches and other coaches' clients, I probably wouldn't be doing it, because I'd be thinking that's just too much to think about, too hard to organise.
Well, that's what this is very much like we have a couple of months ago. It just starts with a conversation. It was not too much detailed planning because we don't want to put people off, especially if they're an ID. But it's good to just start with a conversation, half an hour conversation, find out about what you're all about, talk to you about your clients. Some people might feel a bit nervous asking their clients for a video testimonial, but I'd say 99.9% are happy to do it for them. They're happy with services and they want to rave about what you've done together. So that's probably the biggest thing I'd say is people are a bit scared to ask, but it's just a mindset thing. And I think everybody's very happy to do it. It's very, very rare that people aren't willing to do it.
Yeah, so I think if start with if you're going to start on this journey of videography, consider starting with a professional. Consider making the first move with somebody who does this a lot with other businesses, and it's going to take the strain off you, so you don't have to come up with all of the ideas.
No, yeah, it's just starting a conversation. Even if you just want to do some videos yourself, it's just good to have a chat with a professional to see what kind of concepts work, what concepts don't work. So I personally don't think it's very effective. People just doing videos you see on LinkedIn sometimes where they're just talking to the camera about their day or something. I think that's a bit, I don't know really personally, I don't know what that adds. So yeah, that's why I try and focus around more the client, them raving about you rather than you raving about yourself, because nobody really wants to hear that, do they?
Yeah. Better somebody else talks about you than you talk about yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's a given. Yes. Okay, cool. And I was going to say, how complicated is it to get started? I mean, that you know, I think we've kind of answered that in a way. The simplest way is to engage somebody who.
Yes, so it's just a conversation. It's very easy to get started. Like today with planning with yourself, it's very simple to get started. Basically, the hardest thing you'll have to do is tie down the times for your clients, and that's not the hardest thing in the world, is it? So, and then from there, I can work with your clients. I can prep them, or the professional reviews can prep them, give them every piece of information they need. It's really easy step-by-step process. So, yeah.
Is there anything in terms of, polish and making it professional? Are there any sort of general tips and guides that you have in your head when you're doing this? How do we make it professional?
I personally quite like to have it do the full professional kind of look, just because I think it makes you look like you put a real effort into it. You're proud of what you've done with your clients. But people, you can do you can do the videos on your phone where you interview your client yourself, you interview them. And I don't think it matters too much that it's not got the fully polished professional look. And I think it just looks good coming from the word of mouth for your customer. But personally, I would prefer people to have it done professionally, just because it looks like you're really proud of what you've done with your client. So you want to go all in. If that makes sense.
Mm. So it's interesting. It's an interesting question for us in No Limits, really, and for our clients in No Limits as they're building their business. And there's a challenge and a question for them. There is when they've got a really good opportunity with a client, when they've built a good relationship, they've got good work. That's the time to be thinking about how can they capitalize on that? How can they think, right, ask that client, can we do a video? Can we put some content together that explain your journey with me and how the relationship has worked? And, I think for our No Limits clients, that's a question worth thinking about. As soon as you're getting success with your clients, how can you talk to them to get some marketing benefit out of that? And a lot of my roots in business are in the north, and there's a wonderful northern saying of shy bairn gets nout. The shy child doesn't receive any gifts because they don't ask. And I think in business we've got to ask. So if you've got a great relationship with your client and you looking to market off it, then ask them, will they do a video?
100%. And at the end of the day, they're getting some good PR out of it themselves, because we're raving about their company at the time. So it's obviously great for your customer as well. So it's win-win all around.
Yeah. Okay. And so roughly in terms of, we're into they ask you answer territory again here. Roughly, what does it cost?
So it can range. So it depends. So for action coach clients, for example, we offer it a cut price for everybody in the community for £1,000. But there's also some companies could be going up to 10,000 a day, where you're getting TV quality production. But I don't think everybody needs that week in, week out. But yeah, it can range from all sorts, 300 quid to £10,000. It all depends on the level of the equipment you're using, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you can start from as low as a few £100s up to many tens of thousands, depending on what you want. So from a No Limits point of view, it's if you were thinking about making a £300, £500 investment in some video content, you could get yourself away.
Yeah, 100%. So that would be for a 300, 400. That would probably, for about half a day, it'd be about £500. You could probably get. So, for example, that they ask you to answer videos and get back about 40 topics in that time, I should think.
40 topics.
40 topics.
So for roughly £500, we could probably get 40 little individual pieces of content.
Yes.
That's almost a year's content marketing.
Yeah, exactly. Or then if you did the whole day, which I normally advise people to do, you could spend half the day doing content about you and your business, and then the other half you could go and see 2 or 3 clients and get testimonials from them. So then you've got the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Wow. Great value. Great. Okay. And in terms of some of the the action coach clients you've covered over the years, who do you think's had most success? Where have you seen most success from, or most interest in covering clients?
So the action coaches, they have some brilliant results with their videos. I ask for feedback every year because I always think it's nice to ask for feedback so I can develop my own services. And some of the coaches say it's the best marketing tool they've ever used for their conversion rate, and they come back every year. I've had some coaches been using me for 9 years now, every year without fail. And yeah, I think that's what I really focus on, is the conversion rate. So I know some fantastic stories from John McHale. I'm sure some people might know John.
I know, John.
John McHale, or Alan Smith in Scotland, or the coaches in Belfast. Everybody, it's a brilliant tool for conversion rate. So
I always feel a very close affinity to John McHale because his background is steel in Scunthorpe, and my background is coal production. So we have this sort of basic industry, base industry tie between us. So and a similar haircut, although he's got more hair than me. Anyway, there we go. Okay. So I mean, final question, James, wrapping up. If any of the No Limits guys want to reach out to you, how do they find you, and how do they get started with you?
so we can leave my contact details with you and your team today, but best thing to do is literally have a conversation. We can book in a quick Zoom call, 15 minutes, and we can just talk about what you and your business would need for video. But what I would normally suggest is, like I said, really focus on your clients, focus on their stories, focus on what you've done with them. And yeah, it's just starting with a conversation. We do, for all action coach clients, anybody in the part of the community, it's £1,000 for the day instead of £1,500. So we keep it as low as possible for our clients, as much as possible. And then, yeah, we try to deliver you the results. So if you do have any further questions, just please try and book in a call with me, and we can have a little chat about some video content.
So any questions, reach out to the No Limits group. Karen will introduce you to James, and you can have a conversation. James, thanks very much for being part of No Limits Munch&Learn.
Thank you very much.
And I'm looking forward to a busy day of videography ahead with you today, both with clients and unfortunately my ugly mug on camera.
You'll be tired at the end of the day.
I'm sure. Great. Thanks very much indeed, James.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.